What's going on YouTube? My name is John. Today I am coming to you guys from the map 5, and we're doing something a little bit different. We're not playing normal 5 zombies. No, we are going to be taking a closer look at 5 in an effort to see what classified might look like. You might remember I did a video a little while back on Mob of the Dead in which we went into NoClip, looked around into areas that were unused or areas that were underdeveloped, and saw how they could potentially be incorporated into Blood of the Dead. We're today going to be doing the same thing with 5. So thanks to the help of NoClip, we are going to be able to fly around this map and look at it like you've never been able to see it before. And hopefully we can look into some of the interesting and underused areas and see how they could be incorporated into Classified. This is of course assuming that Classified isn't just a remaster of 5, but a reimagining, much like say Blood of the Dead is to Mob of the Dead. Now of course we don't know for sure, we're just speculating. We've gotten absolutely no information on Classified other than a few statements from Jason and a image, but we can speculate, and at the very least, it's a cool look into 5 through NoClip that I'm sure many of you have not seen before. Let's start with this area of the map right here. So there really isn't that much going on here. There's just these two little rooms right here. They're decorated, but they're really just zombie spawns. Zombies will spawn here, and zombies will spawn there, areas which you can't see, and then they crawl through these windows right here, like these guys did. Then if we move on into this part of the map right here, we have this room right here, which is just a staircase down to the basement and also zombie spawn. Not that interesting. But if we jump into here, this is the tape room, or at least that's what I like to call it. You'll see you have all these reels of tape which correspond to projectors. Now, of course, this is also just more zombie spawns. They spawn in little crevices like that and in rooms like here. But what if Treyarch actually opened up this room right here? They already have it decorated, so a lot of the work is done. And then we come in here and grab some tapes, and potentially those tapes have information and Easter eggs to evolve the story as well as the Easter egg. I think that could be a pretty fun idea for Treyarch to work with. Or maybe give us a way to not necessarily access this room, like not be able to enter it, but reach some of these tapes, almost like we did in, say, Moon with the Gersh devices and the QEDs. Now this room right here is probably the more interesting room of everything that goes on within the spawn, or at least the first level. So this is the back part of the room where the clocks are. If we jump into this room right here and then turn off NoClip, you'll notice I'm actually able to run around this room. Now some objects like this we can just pass right through, while others actually have a clip to them and we can't run through them. But this room is really fleshed out and really well developed. Part of this is because they used a lot of these assets from the campaign, so it was easy for them. They just dragged it and dropped it into zombies and then chose which areas to work with. But one of the biggest complaints people have in regards to 5 is that there isn't that many areas to train, and perhaps they can give us this room right here so that we can train. If we had this whole room to train in, oh, we would be in the money. We would be doing well. So this could be fun. In addition to that, there's also Easter egg potential here. So when we're playing this map, let's assume that it's in between Keener der Toten and Ascension. Just a bit of speculation. Then we can say, well, maybe in this map they learn about the Ascension facility. Well, how do they learn about the Ascension facility? If we go into this room right here, the first thing you'll notice is the rocket. The second thing is this little magazine right here, Space Race, with a picture of Ascension. Now this was always a tease for Ascension, letting us know that we're going to a launch site for DLC 2. But why not incorporate this into the story now, where our characters go into this map and actually learn about the Ascension facility from what they find in this room right here? Maybe put some schematics on the table, bring back this newspaper, another launch, and then maybe also some like coordinates to the Ascension facility. Something like that could be fun, and maybe then we find a lunar lander and take it over to Ascension. We have this room right here. It's got a lot of cool details. It has some interesting rooms. I say we take advantage of it. Now going back into NoClip, we also have these little offices right here. There's not that much going on. I mean, you have this little layout, which you might remember from Keener der Toten. It's, I believe, of the Berlin Wall, but I'm not entirely sure. So there's that, but that's honestly not that interesting. I still do think, though, this room has lots of potential, and I would love it if we were able to train in this room right here. So this is the starting room, or the first level, and that's all of the interesting, underdeveloped, and potential we can find in it. If we go down into the second level, everybody knows this area. There really isn't that much going on here. I mean, we have staircases like these that take us up to the first floor. There really isn't that much going on. They have these rooms here, but these are just glorified zombie spawns. The zombies spawn in that corner right here, and then they crawl out this window. There isn't that much I really want or see us doing. I mean, perhaps they could open up one of these rooms and then make this access a larger part of the map. Something like that could be interesting if they wanted to expand it. If they wanted to work with the assets they already have, though, their best idea could be this server rack room right here. This actually has a little bit of potential because there's something maybe eerie about it. Maybe if they mess with the lighting a little, make it a little bit darker, perhaps some flickering lights, some sparks going around, and we walk through a room like this, and you know there could be zombies lurking around every corner. You never know what you'll find, especially as you notice how the lighting changes in this room too. So for example, you start off in here and it's relatively bright, but as you get further down into the server rack, the darker the room gets. It could actually be fun to play with lighting effects in that area. So we go deep into the bowels of the server room with the Pentagon, and as we get deeper and deeper, it gets darker and the zombies could be spawning around every single corner. Something like that could be fun and an interesting dynamic to play with in their zombies maps. It adds a level of spook to it, which we know zombies can sometimes not be very scary, so why not incorporate this to make it scarier? So we have the DEF CON room right here. This room has to make a comeback. If this doesn't make a comeback, I will be disappointed. You have some basic zombie spawns over here. There is one area that I find really interesting though. It's this door right here. Now normally when you have something like this, there's nothing behind it. I mean, so you have like walls right here. There should be rooms. Nah, there's nothing. There's nothing. You don't have anything. But you go behind this door and there's a whole room that's been decorated. They have a secret picture of Dempsey. Most people don't even know that there's a picture of Dempsey on the map. I mean, you have the blank portrait, you have Richtofen. Very few people know about this Dempsey portrait right here. I mean, they threw this little newspaper on here. They have over here this portrait as well as a sign for Colony de Berbice, or I don't know, I guess that's the picture of the colony right there. Yeah, I don't know. This room has just always kind of been weird to me. Like, why would they decorate a room behind a door if it's pointless? Zombies don't spawn here. There's no window for them to crawl out. So I don't really understand what's going on there, but maybe they can work with that in the next map. Actually give it a little bit of potential, something to incorporate there. Now, here's where we can also play with new areas of the map and also the story. So we have a room like this where maybe we don't actually get to access this part of the room, or we do, but we originally start over here, or maybe this is part of the cutscene. It begs the question right now, why is the door barricaded? Now, of course, to keep the zombies out, but at what point was it barricaded? Who barricaded it? Maybe it's the Ultimus crew. They're running from the zombies and then they slam the door shut and Richtofen pins the chair there. It could be a fun thing to add to a cutscene, and you can say the same thing if you go below a level. So this is where the elevator would sit, and when the elevator comes down, we get a look into this room right here where we have another barricade, and it can beg the question, when and who built this barricade? And maybe it's our Ultimus characters as they're battling the zombies. So we have this whole layer of the lab which we explore in 5. What if we have this whole layer of the lab we explore in Classified? Now, of course, there's nothing here, but that doesn't mean Treyarch can't build it, so that could be fun. As we enter this layer of the lab here, there are a few little Easter eggs and secrets I feel like I'm obligated to show you. The first one is this teleporter right here. This teleporter could be the link between Keener der Toten and 5. Perhaps they teleport in Keener der Toten and then they end up in this teleporter right here. They didn't incorporate all of the assets because in-game you're really only supposed to see the edge of it, but maybe they could incorporate it into the map and that's how our characters get here. Then if we look into this room right here, you have up here the death machine. You have these Nova 6 canisters. They're not all that interesting. I believe, yep, you have a shotgun right there. You have the Winter's Howl, and then you also have the Thunder Gun right here. Now, I've said this before in previous videos, but how cool would it be if we actually got to assemble some of these weapons so we can find parts of the Thunder Gun around the map and rebuild it? Find parts of the Winter's Howl around the map and maybe upgrade it. And I also neglected to mention there's a ray gun sitting on the bench right here. What if we were able to rebuild this ray gun? I think that would be pretty cool. We also have a coil from the teleporter right here. So the reason this is here is probably because when the Americans found Kinder der Toten, they took it, they brought it back to their labs, and they used it to study teleportation. That's how they were able to build and refine these teleporters right here. Well, let's explore this concept further and see maybe we can activate these teleporters in-game, finding parts of the teleporter like this one right here. I think that would be really fun. As we continue to explore this part of the map, there are rooms like these that are really just zombie spawns. There aren't that much to them. They build a room and then they just build little corners where the zombies spawn, like here and throw in a few decorations so that when you look in, you go, oh, weird, look at those bodies piled up right there. There really isn't that much going on there. They didn't flesh this area out too much. Like, this room is virtually empty with the exception of this hallway. Like, you think there would be a room behind this window, but there really isn't. This room right here is just pretty standard. I mean, we obviously need to see the pig make a comeback. And then you look into this room, there's a weird hole right here too in the ground. Where did this hole come from? Was there an explosion? Maybe we can look into that in the next map. Something like that could be fun. Anyway, I think that just about covers everything on this map. If I'm missing anything, be sure to let me know in the comments. There are these canisters right here with the swastikas. This is probably back when the Americans were going through what they found of the Nazi technology and then brought them back. Maybe these are canisters of Nova 6, something like that. They also, because it's the Pentagon, they have a number of weapons lying around on racks. I think this could actually be a fun thing to incorporate into the map, where maybe we can pick up an AK-74U or an M16. Something like that could be fun. Either way, this map has a decent amount of potential. Not as much as, say, Mob of the Dead. Mob of the Dead had so many unexplored areas that we were able to walk around and hang out in with no clip, but this map does have some rooms. There is that area upstairs over here which could really be fleshed out and incorporate a whole new training area. And then if Treyarch wanted, they could set up another side of the lab. They've already established that the lab is deeper than what they show us by giving us, oh, whoops, I'm a little turned around over here. They already established that the lab is bigger than it seems by teasing us with this area right here. What if they gave us this side of the map? I think something like that would be awesome. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, maybe subscribe for more. I plan to be covering Black Ops 4 very in-depthly as it comes out in the next few weeks, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Have a wonderful day, and bye.